you're already home. Lost is.
Thank you for tuning in to my positive perspective today. My name is Jason Darwan, and I'm seated here with the Healthy Living co-host Lauren. How you doing, Lauren?
Good, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. And what we want to do with this episode is talk about something that we see on the news a good bit, and that is children who are mentally handicapped. You know, whether it's autism or whether it's Down syndrome. Sure. So some of these diseases that really do hinder children in their education. What they've been doing at schools a whole bunch is start their day off with having them do some yoga or do some pilates. Just how does that really, how does that physical activity mentally get them in a mind track where they can start going and start learning?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with things like autism, a lot of times the brain receptors, your dopamine, your serotonin, that help children focus. We originally associate those with your happy, feel-good kind of feelings, but it also helps children focus, adults focus and whatnot.
Right.
So if you can give a child, especially in the morning when it is fresh, if you can give them something task-oriented, there's two different types of exercise that helps. Something like jump rope, physical activity, running around, playing on the playground is very beneficial as well because you're increasing all of those endorphins. Something more targeted, like say a Pilates or yoga or Taekwondo, those sort of activities for children, really gives them a task at hand. And a lot of times too, children, especially with Down syndrome, struggle with this sense of failure. They try to complete a task and they can't complete the task, and it's very frustrating, and they have a sense of failure. It's a lot like that with learning disabilities as well on a smaller scale. So if you can help kind of train their mind in a focused standpoint, they do better with, say, academic activities as well.
Right. Well, that's really interesting, and I'm sure for the caretaker of these children, the behavior probably improves when you start off with these activities and exercises. And why is that so? Just I guess your physical thing is just. I mean, there has to be a connection with the physical and the mental aspects.
So from a physical standpoint, if even as adults, as healthy adults, we go for a jog around the neighborhood. It's highly. You might struggle through the run. Right. However, when you're finished, you have all those really good feel-good feelings. You feel like you've accomplished something. What happens is you have endorphins that just rush through your body, and they help you. It's kind of like a burst of energy. It's like drinking a cup of coffee. It kind of helps you just zone in and focus on what the task at hand is afterwards. So it does scientifically promote feel-good chemical activities in your body.
Yeah, and then those things are so important because I have instructed children, and sometimes it's like they just can't concentrate and sit down, and it sounds like what they're trying to do when they have these children do these yoga activities before school is they're really trying to get them to get in a mind frame where they can concentrate and start concentrate on learning. I guess so. That sounds great. So this is something that my positive perspective really sees as very beneficial, a very beneficial thing for these mental disorders, if you will.
Right. And if you think about the yoga side of things, something that you had just mentioned, was a lot of times there can be aggressive behavior with autism, learning disabilities, Down syndrome. And on that side, if you can teach your children the benefits of deep breathing and just having a meditative moment, it will also help the focus standpoint throughout the day and help bring down some of that aggression.
Great. That's really important, is getting that focus time. I know with the education of children, there's a huge difference in them being in school and actually having instruction time. And that's one of the keys of education is how do we expand that instruction time versus them just being in school, because sometimes when they're in school, the behavioral problems really cut down on instruction time, and that really is really not good
Right,
for the
exactly.
children. So we're gonna try to follow up on this. We're aware there's a problem, but here at My Positive Perspective, we're gonna do our best to try to correct that problem and give the children advice on how to correct that problem, give their caretakers advice on how to correct that. But in the meantime, we thank you for watching My Positive Perspective, and have a great day.
Mama, it'll be alright. You know it's all the pearly whites. The gates of heaven